Hey, Hannah Mouse One here. Welcome to another paper clay sculpt. This episode I will be sculpting Mirabel Madrigal from the Disney film Encanto. So I'm just going to start by creating a basic form of her using my typical paper clay mixture of shredded paper, flour, water and a little bit of salt as well. I start with her torso. I normally start with the character's head, but I wanted to start with the torso this time because it's more central to the piece and it just felt like an easier focal point to start with. So yeah, then I go on to her head, building up the form slowly. The head is always the hardest part because trying to get it to look like the character is always super difficult. Even in this case, it kind of ends up looking like someone who looks a lot like Mirabel wearing a costume for Mirabel. I'm really bad at getting likenesses in terms of faces. I'm getting better at it, but it's something I do need more practice with. It's just getting a decent likeness. I do end up pretty happy with this one though. So yeah, I try and get this cocky little half smile she does on the cover art for the film, and I also give her her little ball earrings. I then do her hand, which is held up. I do this separate to the body because when you're working with a flimsy material like paper clay, until it dries, gravity is your constant enemy. And because I don't use armature or anything, it's super hard to work with extended limbs if they're not dry and hardened and working with you. So yeah. I then go on to the legs. Obviously most of this is going to be covered by her skirt. It just helps to have something for to be held up. Because the dress, obviously it falls around her legs, so if you don't have anything under there, this the right shape, it will look a bit odd. But it doesn't mean these legs don't have to look perfect. They just need to be something there. Because I feel it very unlikely that you're going to try to upskirt a fictional character model. It would be really difficult anyway because of the way the base is. You'd have to literally be trying to look up her skirt. But yeah, I do continue just to build out the main parts of her form, so that way the skirt works better with it. And I also do the same where her shirt will be. I mark out the planes of her back. Roughly. I also, whenever I get to a stage like this, I always cover everything in PVA glue because it just kind of helps solidify everything and makes it less likely for stuff to break. Stuff's always going to break when you do this. I think in this case the neck was a pretty weak point. I should have spent more time shoring that up. But yeah. I then go on to starting to define her outfit. I start by working on the collar of her blouse. And I just go all the way around defining that. Her clothes are obviously really detailed, so I knew the outfit was going to be quite difficult on this one, but it was important to me to get it as accurate as possible. I start marking it in some wrinkles where it's tucked into her skirt and starts pulling up, and then I start defining her hair. This is again more armature than it is actual hair. It's going to be all covered up with felt later on anyway to make it look more frizzy. Here I do use something almost like armature. I just unravel a paper clip to act as the hem of her skirt, because obviously the paper needs something to support it, otherwise it would just completely fall in, and her dress does have quite a bit of volume. I'll say her dress really impressed me when I first saw the film. There's 20 layers in that thing, and it's so cool and light and flowy. I really like it. This film is so well animated. Disney animation at this point is incredible, simply put. Like, you can see how much they've improved, even rewatching stuff like Tangled or Frozen, the like distance they've come in the past like 10 years or whatever is like mind-blowing. So yeah, I go around adding these like lace sections to the edge of her collar, and then I start building up her skirt with tissues. These are like the cotton layers on the inside, and then I hem it all off using a piece of paper and then blend that into the rest of the skirt. I then create a belt of paper and then blend that in just to give a nice straight edge at the top. I added some straps around her ankles. When I did these a bit too thick, I tried and camouflage that with the paint job, but I should have done these way thinner. But yeah. I then start building up her hair some more. Her hair doesn't come out quite right. In Encanto, her hair's quite like light and buoyant, whereas this looks more like heavier, straighter. It's still very frizzy, but not as curly as Mirabel's is. I go into the paint job, starting off with her skin tone. This obviously isn't quite right. I do edit it slightly between takes, but yeah, then the dress is such a nice colour. I do this turquoise aqua colour near the top, then I do a dark blue near the bottom and like blend them in, because obviously her dress is a gradient within the film. And then I just touch up the white on her shirt. All I use is poster paints. Like, these are really cheap, rubbishy poster paints. You can use basically any paints on here as far as I'm aware. Like, acrylic works quite well. Acrylic does tend to be more opaque, so it does work quicker. But I just tend to use poster paints because it's what I have and it's cheap. So then I go on and do a nice black coat on her hair. I love working with black paints. It's so opaque. Then I use these fine detail brushes, which I think are actually for nail art, just to start doing some detail work. I paint her shoes a nice bright pink colour, and yeah, then I start adding more details, like I do her lips and stuff, and just touch up all the areas that's slightly messy. Then I go around and do a nice turquoise line around the edge of her dress, and then I do her eyes as well, as such. I added some like shading to her face to try and make that realistic. Then it came on to try to do her outfit. This was a bit that I was like knew was going to be incredibly difficult and incredibly time consuming. It was actually really fun, and it really made the character pop, I think, to like start like painting on all the details of her outfit. Obviously it doesn't come out exactly right because she is so small, and this is like the first time I've tried to paint anything so detailed. But yeah, I just start going on with everything, just going round and round, just adding in all the like lines of black on her shirt, like the butterflies and all that on the collar. It's more trying to indicate what would be there, so if you know what the character looks like, you can kind of fill in the blanks for yourself, sort of thing. I then use some more paper clay to make some mini butterflies that will go on her dress when they've dried. These are super simple. They look more like bows than butterflies, but when they're painted they look fine. And then I start painting on the embroidery. Again, not exactly like it looks in the film. I was taking some pretty serious creative liberties with this, because her dress has so much embroidery on it. It looks gorgeous, but it is a lot. Like, a lot. So yeah, paint all that. And just try and like do like the main features of the embroidery. Like, this line around here is pretty distinctive, and like I try and focus on getting all of the major points in place, but there are a lot of details which are just like underdone or missing or whatever. But I still think it comes out looking really cute. Then I could add these little like paper mache like tassels, I think they're meant to be, that go all the way around the edge of her dress. They're like little pink things on her dress. And I add the butterfly to her shoulder. And I paint all of those little additions. Then I twist another paper clip around a metal instrument to get 2 little circles, which I then glue to her face and add in a piece over the middle to make her glasses. Obviously these are way heavier rimmed than the glasses she wears in the film, but I couldn't figure out how to do them any thinner. I have a really weird, glasses are the one thing I cannot figure out. So yeah, I really need a lighter gauge wire or something, but for now this will do. I then cover her hair with felt scraps as such, and that just makes her hair look frizzy. Then I work on the base, which I start by just cutting out some circles of cardboard, 2 of them, and then I glue those together, and then I blend the edges in with tissue. When you're working with cardboard, you have to make sure to hide the holes in the edge, which can always be a bit of a pain. Then I neaten all that up with a piece of paper. Then I paint the whole thing blue, and I paint on a nice golden butterfly. I was really just making up the design here. Any blank space that there was, I just add more dots and swirls and all that. I wasn't really paying much attention to what I was doing. I was just trying to make something that looked nice and thematic, because obviously Abuela's magic is always represented by, the family is represented by a butterfly. And here is the final piece. I think this might be my favourite project I've made so far. I think it's really cute and I really like it. So apart from that, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week with another one. Bye!